What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Plant Movement Podcast. I'm your host, Willie Rodriguez, and we're at episode 31. Super excited. We're taking it back a notch because the way things are around the world, people forget where we started. And where we started is one of the most important things. It's our product. How to level up, how product can change your whole dynamic and get you in different places, really, within the industry and get you those clients you really want. Today's episode's a banger, so hold on tight if you're in the car listening to this. Make sure you have your seatbelt on because we're bringing the fire. Let's go.
Are you ready to grow? The Plant Movement with Willie Rodriguez of A's Ornamental Nursery in sunny South Florida is the podcast for those in the nursery business. Garden centers, landscapers, power growers, and plant enthusiasts. Willie is a passionate leader in the plant movement and has helped others grow their business into multi-million-dollar companies. This show will save you time, money, and headaches through top-notch education and by connecting you to experts in the industry. Let's grow. Here's your host, Willie Rodriguez.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Plant Movement Podcast. My name is Willie Rodriguez, and here I'm accompanied by Mr. Eddie Gonzalez.
What's up?
I hope you guys are doing well. Boy, is it exciting to be an entrepreneur in this time of the year, this time of the world. And it is getting very interesting having to understand what's going on, pivoting and just learning. I feel like I do nothing but learn all day, and I want to just to perfect everything and make the best calculated move possible.
Of course.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So me and Eddie were brainstorming, and today we're going to be talking about the most important thing where it all hits off and we start from, which is our product.
Mm-hmm. And the process of scaling your business.
The process of scaling your business, product.
From the beginning.
Yeah, from the beginning. We're going to go back to the beginning, guys, because there's so many different things we could talk about, but we want to talk about that because we feel like that is essential.
It's necessary.
It's very, very necessary. Before we jump in, I want to thank everybody that is tuning in and listening or tuning in and watching the content that we're putting out. We know that there are so many other things you can fill your mind with on social media and just in the podcast world. So for you guys that are actually taking the time to listen to what we have to say, we greatly appreciate you guys. Sure. And we hope that we bring nothing but value, knowledge, and growth for you guys. I love the green industry, and I want nothing but the best for all of us. I feel like if all of us are strong, we are going to be strong. And that's really how I feel in a nutshell. So today, guys, topic is product. Is your product right? And that's really what it is, right? So Eddie asked me a question. He goes, Willie, when you first started, well, ask me the question that we were talking about.
Willie, when you first started, the real question was, it wasn't even a question. It was a statement. Everybody wants to grow. Uh-huh. Everybody wants to know how you went from 100 to a million. You know, it's like it's the growth process.
Yeah,
it's
everybody wants to know how to do it.
Yeah, when people listen to a podcast, they're looking for information. Mm-hmm. You know, they're looking for knowledge, they're looking for answers. Mm-hmm. They know what they got to do to level up. Uh-huh. You know, everybody knows. It's just a matter of doing it right, I guess, in a way. Uh-huh. It's like the best teacher is people that already been through it. You know what I mean? For the most part. So as we're brainstorming, I'm like, yo, what's something that people need? They want to learn everything from the beginning, how you know you ended up being where you are today. Mm-hmm. If you're tuning in, you're here because you want to learn. Mm-hmm. You know, you're here because you want to take things to the next level. You're here looking for that information that will allow you to spark up in your mind, like, yeah, you know what, you're right. I don't know why I'm waiting so long to do what I got to do. Mm-hmm. And what a great place, especially if you're in the green industry. Willie is, you know, a master of his craft, I would say, you know, and why not? We're like, okay, let's start from the beginning. What's one of the most important things that in any business that you're in that needs to be 100%? And what is that? Your product.
Your product.
Yeah, service, yes, but number one is product.
Yeah, and that's another episode.
Yeah, service is another. But product is key. Like, how good is your product? If you're selling something, you got to have something that's right. You know?
100%.
So, Willie, your product. How have you been able to grow your business so well? Mm-hmm. You know, what is something that you do? Not saying that nobody else has, but why is your stuff so good? What is your process? What is it that you do that that allows you to shine?
Okay, so it's a lot of things, but if we pinpoint it to product, when I first started, when you first start, guys, or you could change this at any moment as well. Everybody thinks that they gotta be the cheapest in town to sell. Okay, that's the first era.
Misconception.
That's a misconception in my book, my playbook now being in the industry for the amount of time I've been in.
10 years. 12 years.
More.
Yeah, now, yeah.
Well, the business is 12. I've been in it longer.
Yeah, true.
So when I first started out, I didn't want to be the cheap guy because I knew with the cheap guy, you get cheap customers. And that's not what I wanted to deal with. True. I didn't want to deal with the nickel and dime guys. I really didn't want to because it frustrates you and it gets you off what you need to do. So my main thing was growing a product that was superb, not let's say the best in the West, but something that I can ask more money for, knowing that I will sell it, okay, based off of the price points of others around me and looking at their quality of product. So I knew that if someone's selling a 7-gallon plant, and I'm just going to throw regular numbers out there, guys. I'm not going to throw exact numbers. If someone's selling a plant for what used to be back in the day, let's say $12 or $10. I'm gonna just throw $15 at it.
And what kind of plant would you be referring to?
Let's say Podocarpus. Podocarpus maca. That's one that we grow a lot of, and I've been doing it since day one. So I knew that if someone else had a 4-foot Podocarpus that was thin for $15, what I needed to do was grow a 4-foot Podocarpus that was fat for $15, and I would be able to sell everything that I grew. Okay. There's other things that go into it, having to promote it and stuff like that, but we're going to stick with the product. So I knew that, okay? I knew that if I wanted to reach a different market and maybe instead of $15, jump it to $20, now I needed to hold the product a little bit longer and get it up to 5. So now if I have a 5-foot Podocarpus that is in a 7-gallon pot that I can sell for 20 when everyone else is 15, okay, and mine are fat and full and taller, now I'm competing with the guys that are looking for 15 gallons. So a 15-gallon, let's just throw a price out there. Let's say it's $30. Let's just double it. It's different, but let's say it's $30. I knew that you get more bang for your buck me growing a product that was similar to a 15-gallon, okay, but for half the price. So by doing that, I knew I was going to sell. And then I also knew that there's always someone that sells things for more, right? But it was more focused on that.
Okay.
It was more focused on the product. Like, if it's thin, do we trim it back? Okay, things like that have to do with that, or even starting from the beginning. I caught on real fast, and it's not rocket science. If I put 2 liners, which is, let's say, 30, 40, 50 cents per liner, and I throw 2 in the pot, now I'm instantly going to have a fuller plant. I do not have to trim it back, because when you trim plants back, that's how they get fluffier.
Is that what a lot of people usually do in the market?
Yeah, the market is the common thing. Yeah, that's a good question. So the norm is you get a tray of liners, you put 1 liner in a gallon, then from the 1 gallon you put it into a 3, and all this takes time. Okay, to do that. But we grow, so some of the stuff that we do for 3 gallon, we do it with 1 liner, and we'll give it a trim. Okay. But the stuff that we do for bigger size pots, we'll do 2 liners, because it's a lot cheaper to invest 35 to 50 cents off the rip than having to trim it back multiple times to get a density that will never look like if you put 2 liners in from the get.
Sounds like it would be more expensive.
A lot more expensive. So you're losing time. Every time you trim something back, depending on how far you trim it back, and I'm not talking about hacking it back to the bottom, I'm talking about just rounding it off, maybe taking like a quarter of it away. You got to wait for that to fluff back up. That could take 3 months, could take 4 months. So you lose the opportunity of flipping your land multiple times in a year, okay?
Makes sense.
With the product. Like, so that was my main thing. If I knew that if I grew a product that was better, and that I can ask more money for. So by doing that, I instantly get away from anybody that's Mr. Cheapy. Okay, because they'll go on the platforms that were available back then, which was Plant Finder. That was really all that's there. I know now there's more. And they would look at the price. So once I knew this, once people were calling for my product, it's either a customer that wants the product, that has money to spend, that's not going to ask for a discount, or I was the last guy with him. And that all depends, and that happens today every day. So that all depends off who is calling me.
Right.
So if I know you, which I know a lot of people, and you're calling me, I know that, hey, this guy's not going to call me unless there's nothing else around town. So boom. So I already know the sales pitch or what I got to say or how I got to execute that to make it happen.
Right.
Okay. And it's the same if someone calls me that I don't know. And these are things that I'm talking about that I've never really opened up and talked about before, but they're the inner workings of that. So if you guys are starting a nursery, or you've been in a nursery or garden center, or this applies to anyone with product, let's say me, I'm giving it from a grower's aspect. You can choose your clientele.
100%.
You can choose your clientele. The cheapest guy is not always the best.
Yeah.
It's not always the best.
Right.
Okay, and we already know what's tied with the cheap.
Right.
That there was that attention to detail.
Of course.
Is not there.
Right.
You know, I knew that I wanted the best fertilizer, and that's today.
There we go.
I want the best fertilizer I can buy.
Right.
I want the best product that'll eliminate any bugs. So
And
the best pesticide. Oh, but it's $400 for a quart. I don't care.
And stay tuned, because we might have a special guest coming on soon.
Yeah.
That, you know.
So it's like we talk about investing, we talk about all these different things, and there's so many things to invest in, and people always think, when it's like, oh, I gotta invest in the next best thing, the next big thing, you're thinking about saving up 20 grand, 50 grand, $1 million, whatever it is, to jump into another adventure,
Right.
and you haven't even perfected the venture that you're on.
Exactly.
You get me?
Exactly.
Which is your product.
Exactly. And then
You know?
you focus on the
I
other
drive
stuff.
around and I see nurseries that are top notch.
Yeah.
But you see a lot of them that aren't. The majority, I would say there's a higher percentage of nurseries that don't have that figured out than there are ones that do. And I'm not knocking anybody. That all has to do with a lot of different things.
Yeah, where you want to be.
Where you want to be, what you have to invest, where are you at,
Exactly,
your
exactly.
life, your personal life, your family. There's a lot of things that tie into that.
Right.
Okay, but we want to stick to product.
Yeah, and that is it, though. Investing in the right
In the right products.
product and the right stuff to make your product grow
Yes.
properly. Your shade houses, your whatever it is that your product needs. Are you educated?
Yeah.
Are you
fully
looking up the
educated?
information that you need to grow the best of your
Product. Yeah. And then like that's another thing. So whatever it is that you're dealing with, people don't understand. People don't know where all the answers are. No one knows. Okay, but you can ask questions. So when I first started, and to this day, I've done this. What fertilizer do I use? I get a lot of DMs asking me that. Hey, what can I spray for this? Okay. So people are asking me because they feel that I have the knowledge to give them the answer. But for nurseries out there, instead of DMing us, the real thing you need to do, because I'm not a pathologist, or I don't have a pathologist on payroll, is, did you know that the companies that you buy these products from, they are obligated, basically, because you're a paying customer, to service you the best way possible. So you could pick up the phone, and whatever company you buy your fertilizer from, you tell them, hey, I have these palms, but the trunk's a little thin. Do you have a fertilizer that'll blow up the trunks? Yes, we do. Or hold on, let me swing by, let me check it out. They're obligated to, because now you're gonna spend, if you have 1,000 of these palms, you're gonna spend $2,000 with them. So they're obligated in a way to give you the answer, because if not, you can hang up the phone from them and call the next guy. Okay, and that's the same way with any type of fertilizer. Oh, I want something that is gonna help me bloom. Well, maybe it's not a fertilizer, but maybe if you spray this product on it, it'll blow up the plants with flowers. So these are things that you can find the answers to. And where can you find some of these answers? With the companies that you buy your stuff from.
Exactly.
So if you buy your stuff from a little guy that he's $1 cheaper a bag, you might not have access to this stuff. Okay, and if you're a new guy just calling, I'm sure they'll take care of you.
Right.
They're not gonna not take care of you because you're not $1 million client.
Right.
You know, but that's really where are your answers at, right in front of you. Just might not understand that process. You know, let's say you want to grow a specific plant, but you need to find out what shade you should use. Maybe you should talk to someone that has grown that. And I know people don't want to do that, but you can go to the nursery that's beautiful, that has it all figured out, And you can go there and ask them, hey, what percentage shade do you use on these? I'm thinking about growing some. And then maybe you can tell them, hey, maybe he tells you, hey, yeah, you want to do it? Look, how many are you going to do? 10,000? Oh, I want to buy them all.
Straight up.
Because that's happened to me.
Yeah.
You know, and on both ways. Right. Someone asking me or me going to ask.
Right.
You know, and I really feel like the product at the end of the day for me has really allowed me to feel so confident in what we grow and what we do as a full-fledged business. But let's say the product is where it starts. Yeah. You know, and I can ask more for product because I know what's behind the product. You know, I know the products that we've implemented and we've put in, the amount of love, the attention to detail. You know, and it's not easy. Have I burned plants before? Yes. Have I lost a lot? Yes. Have I lost a whole liner house filled with plants? Yes. 40 grand? Yes. I have done all that. Okay, and most people that you see that are knowledgeable, they've been through the worst run of it all. And that's how they gained it. Because the best teacher in life is experience. Okay? I cannot go and pay for this knowledge by going and reading a book or sitting in a class. It is from actually doing it. Right. For me. Right. Just knowing the strategies or what you should put to make it right. You know, like look at it like even this. Like I know a lot of people love used pots, which used pots isn't bad. But if you're selling to a high-end garden center, they don't want broken pots.
It's true. It's very true.
So you know, that's a whole nother topic, you know, but pay attention to
part of the product.
Pay attention to the detail.
Of course.
Who are your customers, you know, and like and little things like that go a long way.
100%.
You know, you don't want to get a phone call from a customer that's upset because you California stacked a bunch of stuff into a truck and now all the pots on the first 3 rows are all busted and broken and now they can't use them. True. So now they want you to, you know, make it all happen.
Yeah.
You know, and that comes from the start. Is it, if you think about it, is that phone call and all you got to deal with to fix that and any other phone call that might happen from using those pots, was it worth it? Or was it just worth it to pay 30% more and just, or 40 and just buy it brand new? You know, on those select items, whatever it might be.
Yeah, and all depending on also your end consumer.
Your end consumer, but that's another topic.
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Guys, we have a bunch of topics written down that we're going to talk about, and the first one is product, because we feel like if you have a fire product, and this is something I know, if you have a good product, you will sell it.
100%.
Okay, the market right now, everything is small. Not everything, but there's a majority of things that are hard to find that are small. That if you pop it in a pot, you're gonna sell it. But there are things that need to get grown out, you know, and like us, and I'll refer it to us again. We go out to buy product. We go out to look to see what's available, and let's stay on the Portocarpus world. The Portocarpus train. Yeah. You know, so my customers are used to something fat, something beautiful. So when I run out for a specific amount of time, which I try not to, but it happens. I'm not always happy when I get a phone call that's a $50,000 sale of Portocarpus. I'm not. Because I know that now it's going to put us in a bind. Having to come through for everyone that is used to this product just like this. And now I got to go try to find someone that does it similar around town at a price point that works for us to make some type of money on it, and that works for the customer, because I think my customer needs to make more than me.
Of course.
Okay? I need to be more beneficial to them than they are to me. So it puts you in a bind, puts you in a jam. If you're growing mediocre stuff, then you can find it all over town. But I want to be different. I want to stand out. And I feel like that's what everybody should thrive and push for. Apple wants to make the best phone. Samsung wants to make the best phone. Chevy wants to make the best truck. Ford wants to make the best truck. Right. Why would you put all your eggs in a basket and not want it to be the best that it can be? True. But if you put the focus on those things, the small things that get overlooked, and you put it in from day one, you will fly by the competition.
Straight up.
Like the train, the Tesla train underground is doing 300 miles an hour. That's how fast you'll get to the other side. Yeah. And it takes longer to start up the train. But once the train is going, hold on tight, because we're coming, baby. Yeah. You know, and then over time you get known for that.
Yep.
You know, and you want to be known for
top quality.
You want to be known for top quality.
Yeah,
you know, you have access to sell to anybody. It gives you confidence. You know, landscaping. Hey, Willie, it's $1 million landscaping. I need everything perfect. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm confident that they're gonna have trouble finding it somewhere else. I'm confident, and obviously in other things, but the product-wise, I know that we are doing the best that we can do to grow the best, fluffiest, greenest, flowering, whatever, beautiful product that we can, because we're putting the time. You know, another thing that I can talk about now. Did you know that depending on who your soil company is, you can, and this is something I do, we put a product called Tolstar, which is a granular insecticide. It comes in spray form, and it also comes in granular. So it's like little grains, a little bit thicker than sand. And what this is for is a preventative for ants, for worms, for rats making holes in your pots and making a home, because I've seen that as well, snakes, all of that. So you eliminate pests completely in your soil by calling your soil provider and asking them to throw a couple bags of Tolstar in your mix. So while they're mixing your mix, because we get our soil from Eddie Gonzalez soils, they have a massive machine that they can make anything you want. If they have the ingredients, they're gonna make it happen for you. And he puts Tolstar mixed in while it's in the mixer. He throws those bags of Tolstar, and now everything that gets in the big semi that comes and gets delivered, everything, I know we won't have ants. We won't have any problems. You get me? And from that, I'm able to sell to the islands. I'm able to sell anywhere. Sell to Texas. Sell wherever, because we did the first thing from the beginning. Like I talked about a liner. Now I'm talking about soil. Is taking the initiative to think and get it done in the beginning. You know, and that is something that a lot of you guys might not even know, but it exists, and it makes a lot of sense to do it. It's better than not doing it. Oh, I'm not gonna spend $200-300. No, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, perfect. I want the cheapest mix. Oh, perfect. So now the customer shows up to buy, but now they have fire ants. Oof. Oh no, I'm gonna take care of it. Now you're running to go buy Tolstar and liquid to go make the sale, but you lost the sale because the guy went to the guy next door. The opportunities are limited. You're limited. There's too many of us out here to let a customer slip by because you didn't take the initiative to get it done right
from the beginning.
So now a customer, let's play it back. The customer shows up and everything's perfect. What do you think is gonna happen? That customer can turn into a $100,000 customer a year, $1 million customer a year, a $5 million customer a year, based off of how everything was presented. So you want to have your product number one. All right, it's so many things. Oh, bro, I'm gonna go buy this real estate. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do that. But everything is all off, and you're like, dude, your nursery's filled with weeds. Your nursery's yellow. It's off color, the product. What are you doing, bro? Why would you go invest over there and not have this right? And I see that. I know guys that have 3 locations. All 3 locations, none of them are right. You get me? Because of that, I have 3 locations. Okay, and what is that doing for you? You ain't making $1, you know that, right? Oh no, but I'm paying for my kid's school. Yeah, that's great. And what else? What else? You know, what do you claim at the end of the year? You know, that's the reality of it. If those people had one location and put all their focus into making that one place right, they'll have way more sales, way more opportunities, way more connections, way more people that want to work with them than don't. You know, and then the cheap guys, which there are cheap guys, there's big guys like I'm not gonna say names, but home builders love to use the big massive home builders. They love to use the cheapest thing. They're trying to get it done the cheapest way possible.
Exactly.
And don't
save
think
the most money that they can.
And don't feel discouraged or in any way. Not discouraged, but I want you to know that there's a market for everything. You can have mediocre plants that are off color, that are leggy, and you will sell them because there's a market for everything. Okay, I know nurseries that have been around town for 10 years. They haven't changed. The place looks horrible, and the guy sells all the time because there's a market for that. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you get in that market, but you will be having to deal with all the
people that come
consequences
with
that
it.
come with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
And then you can't really scale. You
Yeah.
can't get into a different market. You can't be around different people. You can't have those great conversations.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to be the corner store or the supermarket?
Yeah, basically, you know. So it's not that you have to go for the primo, because that's not really what it is. But it's just understanding what market you want to get in, where you want to grow and scale your business in, and then perfecting and taking the steps needed to do it, making sure you're on the proper step and not focused on step 20 instead of step 3. You know, give you an example. Last week, and I'll tell you guys, last week, a property popped up for sale close to one of my other properties. And it was for $850, 7 acres, $850,000. Listen to that, guys. 7 acres for $850,000. I know that there's a lot of listeners that aren't down here where we are, and that is crazy because that's not the norm. I paid $290 for 10 acres back in what year was that? Like 2011, 2013. It was like 2013. So that's how much things have climbed. But so I made an offer. I made an offer of $750. It was an owner finance. You had to put $300,000 down. Okay. They were going to finance it at 10% interest, 20-year loan, but a balloon at 5, which I was explaining to Eddie what that was. So my payments were going to be as if I had 20 years to pay it, but I really had to have it paid off in 5. So if I didn't have it paid off in 5, then they could take it back. But there's other ways around that, by going and doing a refi, going getting a private loan, or going to the bank and tell them, hey, whatever, I'd have this property I got to pay, I got a balloon. Would you guys take it on? And now you could buy 10, 15, 20 more years. So I was pumped. I'm like, dude, we're going to get another 7 acres, right? We're going to be able to tell everybody we got 71, 76, 72 acres, baby. Woo! That doesn't do anything. So this is what happened. They counteracted with 810. I had offered 750, changed the terms a little bit. Then I was thinking, man, I have 4 acres that's not 100% at one location. And I have like 3 at another location. I have 7 acres that's not 100%. Why am I getting caught up in the hype? Okay. I know I don't want my money in a bank, and I don't want to touch too much on the topic, but I know I don't want my money in a bank. So what's the next best thing to put it in? Oh, real estate, right? I'm thinking big.
Right.
But this is where I caught myself. And I said, wait, no. Where I need to have all my money is in product.
There you go.
So what I need to do is take the 300 down and go fill up these properties, because that's pretty much what it's going to cost. Let's go fill that up, make it, because all the other properties are packed, but some of these other ones are further away, and it's more of a pain, to send everybody over there. And so that's the initiative that the business is going to take. It's going to be stock up on inventory, make sure everything's primo, make sure everything's perfect. Let's be on the spray schedule. Let's be on everything like we always are, and make sure everything is right when it comes to our product. That way, when the phone call shows up, it leaves. Okay? We don't have to second guess. We don't have to go back and forth too much. It's, hey, this is the product. You want a picture? You want a video? Jump on IG. Check out the stories. Check out the highlights. Boom. Here it is. Jump on this app. Jump on that app. It's everywhere. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to sell it. It's number 1. It's beautiful. You can't give me an excuse. You can't tell me other than, bro, I'm hurting, please. Or whatever excuse might come up to lower the price of the product. Let's get this done. Let's do this right. And maybe at the end of this year or next year, we jump into a situation where we can get another piece of property. Because I want to continue growing.
Of course. And
that was the trend from day one. It was, okay, I grew a good product. I was selling it all, and I would run out. So it's like, okay, and I'm still getting calls. So it's like, okay, so now I need to go get more land. And for the past 3 years, that hasn't been implemented because of just how everything has been. So I've done other things to have inventory. That's not this podcast. But I've done other things to have an abundance of inventory and anything I want. Like if I had it and I was growing it myself with people that knew how to grow it. But I never did another property. We did like a 3/4 acre here and a 3/4 acre there, which that's like easy peasy, get it done. It gets done in a couple weeks and it's done. And then you set it and forget it and make sure everything's good and just be on the spray schedule, the water schedule, and make sure everything's good. And then you go, and that's why you got to have that confidence too in the people that you buy these products from. You have fertilizer companies, you have Florcan, you have Harold's, you have Diamond Art, you have all these different companies, and there's plenty more that stand behind their product.
Yeah, so you decided, instead of investing into property, investing back into your product with the land that you already have.
With the land I already have, making sure everything's right.
100%.
Making sure everything's right and staying on top of the trends, staying on top of what's available, what's around, what I got to do.
Yeah, what you need, what product you need to make sure that your product is correct. Or, everything.
Like
everything.
right now, just to give you an example, there's a plant that's, I'm not going to say the name, but there's a plant that no one grows. That we were really the only people that grew it in vast quantities. There are people that grow 100, but that's not really plants, guys. So we have, but we stopped selling in all sizes because we got to get cuttings from them. If we don't get cuttings from them and do liners and stock up on the inventory, we sell what we have, and now we're like everyone else with none of it available.
Right.
So if you think about it, that's a crazy risk.
Yeah.
That's a crazy risk. It's a risk because I have the opportunity to sell them today. Well, I have that opportunity tomorrow, the way things are going. But I'm confident in the future. I'm positive, okay? And I feel like if I do this, which is the harder route, I will have an abundance of them forever. And the people that are purchasing them will have the opportunity to get them every time.
Exactly.
Okay, versus just take care of that one customer today.
Right.
I want longevity. I want to be known for the product,
right.
And I want people to always have it available.
Right.
It might be different sizes, but at least it's there. And it's available to purchase. It might be different heights depending on the season or depending on how low we are in inventory or how good we are in inventory. Right. But that's something too. There's a million things we can talk about in this podcast about just everything, and it, product goes into so many things.
It does.
At the end of the day, do I think what we are doing is risky? All of us? Yeah, it's all risky.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everything's risky. But I much rather have a stocked up, solid, beautiful, no questions asked inventory that when the phone calls come, the plants leave, than hesitate, not do it, wait, and now, okay, and now what have I done? In all reality, when it comes to, real brief, just what's going around the world, it's like, what better to have your money invested in than product, than what you sell if you're a nursery. And that goes to garden centers too, which I've done and I've talked about it multiple times. Have your place stocked up. And the people that have had their places stocked up have seen nothing but opportunities. Right. With the right stuff, for their customers, what they feel their customers, for their market. Yeah. Your garden center listening, it's the same thing. Make sure that you have your product. Make sure you have it. Make sure you have the chain. Don't just buy 300 and then have no clue where to get more. Think, and that's what a lot of people don't do. They purchase now, they think, oh, it'll be available tomorrow. No, it's not. No, that's not the life we live today. The life we live today is very different. You got to be on point. You got to be at 100 all the time. And if you're caught sleeping, you'll know, because especially after this podcast, if you guys have tuned in all the way to this point, it'll happen and you'll be like, man, damn, Willie was right, man. I why didn't I do that? Yeah. If you feel, like my main garden centers and landscapers, 3 months ago, I told them, hey, send me a list of everything you're going to sell for the next 3 months. This was like 2 months ago. Send me a list of everything you think you're going to move. If you're a garden center, or for the landscapers, what projects do you have deposits on already that are up and coming? Send me that whole list, because I want to make sure that they have what they need. They've been putting food on my plate and all my people's plates for all this time, and what, I'm going to throw them to the wind? Right. And I have product held right now that things can blow up tomorrow, and I might not be able to sell that product, or that person that I'm holding it for they might not be able to sell it. Right. Okay? But that's a risk I'm taking. Right. Based off of all the scenario, the whole scenario as a whole. But I want people to have the best possible product that they can. Inventory. Look, guys, if you're a landscaper listening to this thing and it doesn't pertain to you, your product will make or break who you are as a landscaper.
Very true.
You see these landscapers doing $200,000 installs. How are they doing that, man? Because they don't pinch pennies on the product. And this is real, guys. I'm at the point where I just want to open up and talk and hit you guys with the realness. You know, and it's true. I feel like people need to hear it. And all my friends and all my buddies, I hit them with fire. And if they don't like it, it is what it is. Yeah. Don't be my friend anymore. No, all I want is the best for you. Yeah. So if you're a landscaper and you can't get to the next level, look at your product. Look at what you're installing. What stays there? How does it do over time? Do you go back 6 months later to see how it's doing? Or do you not? Yeah. Or you're just on to the next thing. Right. You know, take time and really pay attention. The nurseries that you're buying product at might not be where you should be buying product. It's not always the cheapest price. The cheapest price, you know what comes with it. So if you jump up, not saying you have to spend the most money, spend double the price, but you can put 20% more in on the product and get something that's way better, way fuller. The customer's going to be way happy. The neighbor's going to see it. The other person, and they're going to post it on social media because they're so happy. And it's going to do nothing but help you grow. Yeah. Product, at the end of the day, whether you're a landscaper, garden center, broker, a nursery, it starts with the product. And if your product isn't up to par for a specific audience, you'll never touch that audience. You'll only get a piece of the audience here and there when the other guys don't have. But put time, invest into what you're growing, invest into what you're stocking up on, and link up with the right people. There's people out there that are here to help. I would love to help everybody, but physically, probably, most likely I can't. But you can always send us a DM through Instagram, and you can send it to the Plant Movement. It's at the Plant Movement podcast on Instagram, and I can maybe help direct you or maybe help guide you. But the best thing is, if you're looking to grow nice, pretty plants, you can get a grower. I know that's a lot of money, but there are all these companies out there that they have pathologists or they have access to a pathologist. There's a funky bug. They're like, dude, I've never seen this. I've sprayed it all these different times. It hasn't worked. Call them. They'll figure out what you got to spray on it. You know, locally also we have an extension of UF over here that they have a team of pathologists there as well. We have access to that. Not many people know that. It's right off of 288th Street and Redland Road for you guys that are local. Redland Road is 187th Avenue. You can go in there, you can talk to them, or you could just reach out to your pesticide guy, fertilizer guy, and they're obligated, if they want to run a good business, to help you out, because you're going to spend your money there with them, and that's what they need to continue operating, is money. So if they got to go into the service sector to do it, they'll do it, and they'll get it done for you. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys are staying vigilant out there. I hope you guys are staying positive, okay, regardless of what's going on. If you are a person that is filled with problems, look back and figure how you're going to fix the problems, because problems don't get fixed on their own. You have to implement change to get that accomplished. And that's something that I've been working on for years. And I am able to have a clear mind, able to be positive when it comes to the business, when it comes to home, when it comes to my wife, my kids, my friends, everything in life. I want to be number one, at least number one as I can be. Yeah. You get me? So guys, God bless you. I hope this episode was informative. Stay tuned for what we have. We have a few guests that are already locked in. We've changed things up a little bit. We've integrated better things. Eddie's been working hard. And we've just made it better. Yeah. Because that's what everybody needs to do. About. That's what we need to do. Make things better, make things happen. And I'm excited for what's to come. We're going to have very smart, very, very beautiful, just gorgeous things that these people put together on these episodes to bring you guys fire knowledge so we can continue growing as the green industry. All right, guys, God bless you. Stay safe, and you'll see us on the next one. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this edition of The Plant Movement. Willie and Eddie invite you to connect with them on Instagram at both The Plant Movement Podcast and A's Ornamental Nursery. Those links are in the show description. Please leave us a well-worded 5-star review on Apple Podcasts to help others find the show. And remember to tap the follow button so that you'll be notified when the next edition of The Plant Movement is available.